Good Tuesday morning, and welcome to Ice Age TV, the internal combustion engine age YouTube channel that talks about all my cars and trucks and SUVs, the weather, the attitudes, the Kiefer dog, the allergies, the pool, the camper, the motorcycles, the opinions. Yes, hey, it's Tuesday morning. There's Kiefer going after Ginger. It's a daily routine. Hey, good morning there to everybody who comes to my channel, watch me. Thanks so much for tuning in to my channel, and I appreciate all your support, nice comments, and ongoing morning conversations, which I do on a daily basis. I try to keep it going every day of my life. Not easy. Coming over to the shop. Beautiful Tuesday morning. Temperature. Another heat advisory day. Every day I get a notice on my phone. Heat advisory, heat advisory. So we're definitely in the prime of the summer months up here in the Northern Virginia, Maryland, DC area of getting the hot weather. And it's just typical for this area. It isn't really anything new or different. Always people are surprised. Hey, look here. So funny yesterday. I ordered on the internet some nice Harley-Davidson front tags, and I lost them. I couldn't find those things, and it just was driving me nuts. I'm like, where did I put those things? So I got the Harley-Davidson logo on the front of the Explorer ST, and then I got the Road Glide. You know, it's incredible how I sprayed all this driveway and everything. I got the Road Glide up here on the Ford F450. And yeah, I sprayed this whole driveway. I mean, with like really heavy doses of that killer. I hate that stuff. You know, it's incredible how that stuff kills mankind, but it won't kill the grass. It doesn't. Biggest scam in the world, this weed killer that you buy. Huge industry. You're buying water with a little bit of chemical in it. But at the end of the day, as you know, the Roundup lawsuits, there's people that are, you know, deathly ill that have died from inhaling these chemicals to kill all these freaking grasses and weeds. Oh, I hate it. I hate using that stuff. And what do you do? I mean, sincerely, what do you do? I don't know. But anyways, here we are. And if you ever notice my shop, I got this really pretty mirror. And what's the old saying? Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? And we know that's a saying from the Snow White movie and the Seven Dwarfs with the Wicked Witch, the Wicked Queen, that supposedly had the wicked mirror that told the truth. And isn't that the truth about mirrors? So here we are on the conversations in the morning. What do we talk about? And I try to get creative with ideas that relate to the cars and motorcycles and what we live in and drive around in. And I thought, mirror, we haven't had the mirror conversation. And I thought that'd be a great conversation. And let me get the dogs upstairs here. Kiefer, you're not going because you're just going to harass all the dogs. I already know all this stuff. Okay, get up here, pups. Nope, Kiefer. You're not going. You're not going. You're not going to do it. Ouch. Jesus Christ. Yeah, it just doesn't end. I mean, it doesn't end. What the heck's over here? Oh, it's a dead... No, don't eat that. We got a dead mouse. Look at that there. So, that's not good. Wonder how he died. Wonder who got him. Oh, you know what? Last night I was in the camper. I got to pick that damn thing up. Disgusting, right? Yeah, but the dogs are freaking... Somebody tried to eat it. So last night I was in the camper, and it's pretty cool. I'm out here in the camper. I see the animals running around my property. They're usually like bunny rabbits and stuff because I'm sitting out there in the camper. And so last night I saw a real scraggly looking type of cat. So I think that there's a cat on my property. So would that be something if this cat killed this mouse? I'll just throw it here in the garbage can for the moment. Because I throw it out in the yard, guess who's going to find it and eat it? And who knows what happened to that thing? You don't want to let your dog eat a dead mouse. I don't have any poison out here. I'm not that stupid. Yeah, I got a whole story of that. So yeah, I think I may have a stray cat on my property. But in actuality, oh, I can see here too. Look. So it may have gotten into that last night. Oh, it's going to be interesting. I'm going to start seeing my garbage. See here? So something's going on. The kitty cat is hanging out. And I've had a lot of people drop off stray cats on my property. We're not a cat family because you got the dogs. I had cats. I mean, I grew up with cats. So I'm a cat person. Wife is not a cat person. So we got rid of them years ago. But the dogs wouldn't be used to that So they just weren't, brought up with the kitty cats. So if they were brought in this world with the kitty cats, it'd be a different story. So here we are. So the mirror conversations, I thought, wow, if everybody drives a car, you all know you got a mirror. How many mirrors do you have? And so if you're a simple car, you've got 3 mirrors inside your car. You got your rear view mirror, and then you got your side mirror. But it's kind of hard to believe that so many years ago, a lot of cars only had 1 mirror. Didn't have 2 mirrors. Isn't that something to think about that? But somebody can correct me if I'm wrong on that. But I think you go back, the 50s, the 60s, maybe even before that, most cars I don't think had mirrors on both sides of the car. What's that all about? Because you really do need the mirrors. Mirrors are so key to your driving, even though for Elon Musk, he's tried to get his Tesla cars with no mirrors, where the cameras are the mirrors per se, for his vehicle. But I don't think he can do that. I don't think the whatever transportation, whatever they call it, I don't think they let him. I think he failed on that, trying to get that done. So his cars do have cameras, but they have rear view mirrors. So you think to yourself, the history of the mirror. I did a little research on it, so I'm no expert. And you think about how a mirror is developed. It's glass with usually like nickel, silver, tin, copper, chromium. Those are bonded into the surface of the glass that create that reflective image for you to see yourself. But for mankind, think about this. What was the real, true, earliest mirror of when man saw a reflection of himself? What was it? And you read about the BCE, you read about thousands of years ago, 5th century, whatever it may be, way with the true beginnings of man. I'm trying to think of Socrates. These are the times they used stones, they polished stones to get a reflection off a stone for you to see an image of yourself. And Socrates highly emphasized beautiful people should look at the stone a lot to take advantage of how beautiful they are, but the ugly people, you just need to go figure something else out in life and become smarter, because your looks aren't going to get you anywhere. That was his saying, so-called saying. I'm going to turn this fan on because it is hot in here. I mean, the movement of air is like stagnant. One thing I've learned is I need to put a 30 amp breaker in my camper, because right now that plug there, believe it or not, is running off my panel over there. I got a panel over here in the garage, and I got a panel inside my other room here. And when I run the air conditioning in that unit, it's on a 20 amp breaker. And if I put the air conditioner on, the main big one, that fan actually ends up tripping the breaker. So I really need to pull a whole new breaker out of my panel in here, like I did my electric here. So I really want to bring like a nice 30 amp outlet and put it on the exterior of the barn over here, or maybe inside to protect it from the weather, and just run the cable inside or something like that. I don't know. I thought about putting actually like a pole up out here and making it so I had a pull-up 30 amp breaker, but I thought, with me having to pull the trailer out and move cars around, it's going to get run over. That's not going to work. I could do it. I could trench down. Nah, it's not going to work. Too much stuff going on over there. If I move the trailer, will the trailer get moved? Will the trailer actually ever get used? So the mirror, so you really think about it, here we are, and it's so incredible how I think about my age group, like Jim Carrey. Do you realize that Jim Carrey, he used to look at himself in the mirror to make all these different funky looks on his face, where he mastered how, if you look at Jim Carrey, he was truly incredibly talented person that could get all these different expressions on his face. He came from In Living Color as where he really started to get recognized. And I was seeing a Jay Leno, redo of him back probably in the 90s when he was sitting with Jay Leno, and even Johnny Carson when he was doing imitating James Dean, Clint Eastwood, all the well-known actors back at that time. He could, Elvis Presley, he could truly invent himself to look like these people. It was like Ed Sullivan. It was just incredible what he can do with his face. But apparently, he looked at himself in the mirror all the time growing up, doing all these different all these different facial type of expressions to master how he could become an actor, a comedian in so many ways, on looking at himself and doing all these different, really funky ways. The Mask, Ace Ventura, Dumb and Dumber. I mean, if you go through the list of movies that he was in, Liar, Liar, all the facial expressions that he can do, he learned through looking at himself in the mirror. But going back to, if you really think about what, I'd love to hear people, I'm going to have to answer it, but I'd love to hear what other people would say. What was the true first mirror for mankind to look at? Does anybody know that answer? What was truly the first thing mankind saw a mirror? If you think about it, it's water. It's water. So mankind saw a reflection of himself by looking at water. So to me, that was the first, technically, to me, mankind's recognition of a mirror, of a reflection. Because that's what a mirror is. But I think about my generation and those of my age group, and maybe a little younger, but not by a lot. When we grew up, the mirror was such a powerful thing because you could look at yourself in the mirror and see who you are. Maybe you didn't like how you look, but we didn't have all these photography. We didn't have all these videos. We didn't have all these cameras back when I was growing up. And because of that, you and I couldn't see each other. We didn't see ourselves. We didn't have the instant video. Like my dad, I remember my dad having an 8mm camera with film tape on it that he would run. So, for me, I wish I could find, I know my dad watches my video every now and then. I only wish I could find the California videos, or I should say film. It's not, it's film of the film reels of me when I was a kid riding my bicycle and doing wheelies up and down the street. And other members of our family, that had gone back into the 70s. That would have been like the early 70s. And I know one time, all that movie stuff was in my parents' house. And many, many years ago, I saw it. But it's been probably 30 or 40 years ago since I saw that film, at least. And so, the point is, for today's society, you have a video in your camera where you can instantly video yourself and you can see yourself instantly. Versus for my generation, you didn't have that capability. You had to look in the mirror to see how you looked. And sure, you had the video capability, but typically it wasn't instantaneous for you to be able to video yourself. That fan is pretty loud, so I think I will turn that off, because I'm sure people here on my video will probably be like, man, that fan, you've got a lot of noise now in the background. So yeah, that thing's noisy, isn't it? So I'll just go ahead and turn that off to try to calm things down here. It's loud pretty quick. So for us, our generation, we didn't have the luxury of looking at ourselves instantaneously and see how we look through video, because it's a whole different look of you looking in the mirror at yourself versus you watching a video of you walking across the parking lot, or you ride a motorcycle, or whatever it may be. And as you see, and what's huge today is how everybody's videoing themselves and showing themselves. And that was only for the elitists that had the capability to be a movie star, a sports person, a media journalist. Those people were videoed on a constant basis, and they could see themselves on a rerun of what they did. But for you and I, we didn't have that. We didn't have that option. But I think to myself, when it comes to cars and motorcycles and trucks, I think about how it's such a different mindset, a different generation, on how we grew up having to use mirrors to back up a car. And like the other day, if you're watching my video the other day over the weekend, when you're cleaning up the Camaro, the daughter was backing the Camaro in, and there is no camera in the back of this car. Now, for a lot of youngsters out there, yeah, I mean, in the good old days, you didn't have a camera. You didn't have a media screen where when you put the car in reverse, you had this big TV looking type of thing to show you how to back up with lines in the screen and everything else. The good old boys and girls, my generation, when you had to back up a car, you had to look at the rear view mirrors, and you sometimes had to turn around, actually turn your head around to look to see where you're going. And you didn't have that technology today where it shows everything around you behind the bumper of the car. So I think it built more of of you being in touch with your car, but at the same time, probably more dents and scratches and bumps More of that then than today. That'd be my guess, because you wouldn't know there's an object back there and you hit it. In fact, in my Camaro, I backed my Camaro up, believe it or not, a little too far one day, and I literally bumped the back of the car with the mufflers. I mean, believe it or not, I did that. And I was like, what the heck? It didn't do any damage because it was just I felt it very quickly and stopped. And so, because I don't have a camera in this, and I didn't know how close I was. Just like the good old days when you go to hook up your trailer, who doesn't know these stories? You go out and buy a little magnetized pole with a flag on it, and you put it on your trailer next to the receiver, and you would back up, I should say, you put it on your trailer up front here, where the ball's going to go, and you would back the truck up to kind of guesstimate how close you were to getting your hitch to hook up your trailer, and how many people didn't jump in and out of the truck 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times if you didn't have anybody there to help you to try to hook it up, or how many people backed into the trailer and put a dent in their bumper, or they dented their license plate. I mean, who doesn't know all these stories if you've been a trailer person, because you didn't have that technology. And even now, with the big trailers, campers, you can buy these elaborate camera systems that can tie into your truck, and you can now back up your big camper, and you have a big ass camera on the back of your trailer. You know kind of where you are when you're backing up, because otherwise you're going to need some people to be out there to help you guide that thing in when you're parking it in an RV park or wherever you're going. So, in today's world of technology, more than ever, the mirror has been replaced by the camera. Just like in my Ford, the new Kirby's truck out there, the new 2023 Fords and 2024 Fords, it's incredible how the technology, just in 2 years' time, 1 year time, has all changed. When you're driving down the road, I was driving down the road in Kirby's truck the other day, and I thought, let me put this thing in off-road mode and see if this changes the way the truck feels. And what's pretty cool is the whole screen and the infotainment center came up, and it shows the front of the trucks, like you're on the back roads and you're off-roading. Now the front camera, all the cameras are activated on the truck. So you have cameras that are seen on the sides, the back, the bed, the front, and if you're off-roading, you know really what's everything's around you. And usually, most vehicles, the camera turns off at certain speeds. But on the off-road feature, it didn't turn off. So that's really cool. Another thing is when you're towing a trailer with that truck and you put on your blinker, automatically a camera comes on and it shows you the whole downside of the vehicle of which way you're going. If you're going the right-hand lane, it shows the whole camera display pops up in your infotainment center, and you see the whole side of your trailer and truck, so you can tell there's nobody running down the side of your truck to hit them, or the left side. Really cool technology. And once again, if you look at here, the Ford Raptor, here's a camera here. There's two cameras just between the rear view mirror. Then you have the camera up in the windshield. Then you have the camera up here in the front of the grill. Then you have the camera in the back of the cab. You have the camera in the back of the tailgate. And I know it isn't a mirror, but in so many ways it is. Because the camera is a reflection of whatever it's looking at. It's giving you a reflection back to see what's going on around you. And in today's, more than ever, that's a huge part of the technology, even to the point that it's created the adaptive cruise control. It's created the FSD, the full self-driving with Tesla. It's created the Blue Cruise with Ford. It's created the Highway Cruise. So all this mirror technology, which is built into the cameras, satellites, it's infinite on what has been created through the development of the mirror. But really when the mirror was mastered was in 1835 by a gentleman like Justin something in Germany. A German scientist finally figured out how to take glass and then create the silver or nickel or whatever process to create the reflection of the glass embedded into that, so you could have an actual mirror. So it wasn't until 1835 that the actual mirror really came to be, that the average person could buy and get and hold and look at themselves versus looking at a polished rock or whatever polished aluminum, you can just imagine, if you get aluminum polish, you can borderline kind of see a reflection. Here's the Mustang. I called my good friend Dennis up there at Coons Baltimore Ford, who's the GM of the Ford dealership, and I think he listens to my videos every now and then, and congratulations to Mr. Dennis, because he just now got the Owings Mill, Maryland Kia dealership. So he's now the general manager of 2 dealerships. Wow. Talk about a lot on his plate. He's a little younger than me, but I just think, wow, the amount of responsibility he has. Yeah. And now, will he try to mirror his Baltimore Ford store to his Owings Mills Kia store? I'm sure he will. When you know the word mirror, the mirror means, you try to duplicate the twin of 2. You try to mirror that you're going to do the same thing that you did somewhere else. And I'm sure that's what he's working on. But the reason I reached out to him is I want to get an appointment to get this supercharger put on this Dark Horse Mustang. And I met a really cool guy at his dealership that's a new service manager. And I couldn't remember his name. So I reached out to Dennis late yesterday, and he said he would advise the service guy to give me a jingle. But it was Monday after a holiday, and I know that guy was slammed. So hopefully today, I'm going to get a hold of him, and I'm going to try to schedule his car to get the supercharger put in. Another thing I thought is, do I make a 1-minute video of saying, hey, who out there is a certified tech, Ford guy, that wants to come to my shop, and you've got all the technical equipment to put this supercharger on my car? And that would make it a build in the Ice Age TV's man cave garage, a whole experience where I just bring a guy, he's ASE certified technician, and he has the correct computer with the correct software to be able to interface with the car to tune it. Why wouldn't I just bring a guy to my shop and he brings his tools and let him have a project here in my shop? That would be pretty cool. But it would come down to, who is that person, and is that recognized by Whipple and Ford to warranty that if he does it here in my shop? I really don't know, but I would be intrigued to know. And we watched my channel and said, you know what, I'm in your area and I know a guy that would come to your shop and do this, and he would enjoy doing it and doing a video of your car doing all this. That would be really cool. So once again, do I make a 1-minute video? And then that would gain a lot of attention on my channel, because now we're doing a build to my shop, which so many people have said so many years to me. It's like, man, you got to be doing builds in your shop to get more attention. And I don't disagree with that, but I'm not the guy that has all these tools and technology and knowledge to get into that. And I'm not going to be fooling myself to go down the path of a brand new car. And you know as well as I do, you're going to have specialty tools. You're going to have the, I'm trying to think of the name of the Ford software program you're going to have in order for you to be able to do all this stuff. And it's a certain program you have to have and have access to be able to do this. So, but yeah, so maybe I do that. I don't know. I'd like to hear other people's opinions on what you think. If that would be a pretty cool idea to do that. And then I don't have to go run up and down the road, because right now I'm going to have to drive to Baltimore, Maryland with 2 vehicles. It doesn't matter because we're going to have to drop the vehicle off anyways. But I would drive 2 vehicles because that supercharger doesn't fit in the Mustang. Has to be, brought in the back of a truck or a big SUV, and then drop it off, and then hopefully they get on it and get it fixed, done within 3 to 5 days or whatever the time frame may be. I don't think it'd be that long, but so that's the next adventure on my car adventures and car projects, and that'll be a little bit of money too out of my pocket to get that done. But I'm ready for it. And it's just all about the focus point. And so many people talk about too is get that frickin' splitter done. Yeah, I know. I hear you loud and clear. So the mirror, I think to myself, look at yourself in the mirror. If you even want to look at yourself in the mirror, I mean, that's a whole other ball game. Who doesn't know that? Sometimes you're like, I don't want to see myself. How many people are like, I don't want to see myself in a video. I don't want to see myself. I don't like, because what you think you look like versus what you look like are usually 2 different things. Who doesn't know that? I mean, who doesn't know that, the way you think you look versus the way you actually look? And that's why other people are like, I don't like that stuff. But what do women do? What's the number one thing a woman does? A woman stands in front of a mirror, and who doesn't know these stories? A woman gets all dressed up in the morning only to get redressed. Who doesn't know those stories? And maybe get redressed again. So they use the mirror in the morning, which is their best friend, Or is it because they're not happy with the way they look and they change the way they look? Yeah. Yeah. If anybody's married or has a girlfriend, well, even guys, I'm sure you can even kind of go to that angle too, as far as now. So when you're going down the road in a car, what is the number one drag about you getting up on a person that's putting down the road? They're the rear view mirror driver. And what does that mean? That's the person that's looking in the rear view mirror the whole time you're behind them, and then you do the brake check. And they're very aggravating to deal with because they're not going to speed limit, and now it's about them controlling the road in front of you. Who doesn't know these stories? And it's like you can see them looking in the rearview mirror because they're not happy that you're on their tail, and they're not abiding by the rules of the road by staying at the proper speeds. Who doesn't know the stories of it happened to me down there and coming back home and the Ram TRX. I think I even showed it in my video that late night. I was coming back home, and it's the worst. I get it. When I'm in a car at nighttime and a guy in a big old truck shows up, it's like the mirror, your rearview mirror, your camera, your rearview mirror in your car, your side mirrors, all that stuff. It's so aggravating because all the light's shining into your face, and it blinds you because the truck's position of the headlights are right in your back window, and and then the whole vehicle's lit up. Who doesn't know these stories? When I was in the Ram truck coming back home, towing the trailer, it kind of squats the truck, so that the truck now is actually a little higher up in the air. So when I pulled up this guy, he was like in a Volkswagen or Audi or BMW, something like that, and he literally put his hand out the window and flicked me off. You know, he's thinking that I'm intentionally like trying to blind him, and I'm like, buddy, I'm not. You know, so I just kind of laid back, and he just sped up the road. And I tell you what, it is hot, hot, hot. But I had so much fun yesterday in this pool. And I mean, I got in this pool yesterday about 5 o'clock. I didn't get out till 8:30 last night. And today, I'm looking forward to doing that all over again later this afternoon. Once I get kind of done working for the day and kind of close down, then I'll go jump in the pool and check it all out. As I'm checking it out, making sure it's all still standing. And I did a lot of swimming. So I did 500 strokes, frog strokes. And I did about 1,000 steps. So what I do is I literally get in that pool and I try to work out and move my body because, as you know, as you progress in life, man, I just can't emphasize enough. Throws out there. Challenge as you get older is just to keep moving. And you got to keep moving. It's just not good as you get older of sitting all day. And, you know, what's going on more than ever in our society is people are literally sitting more than ever because of this remote working. And so the mirrors, and then once again, back to the mirrors and the cars and trucks. I can remember driving the big tanker trucks, and you really had to have those mirrors adjusted just right. You had the convex mirrors, the flat mirrors, and who doesn't remember back in the 70s of the pickup trucks where people would go out and buy the California style mirror, which was like that big U-shaped type of big metal bracket assembly. I'm sure if anybody out there is a truck enthusiast, you know what I'm talking about. I think they were called California mirrors, where they're these big ass like truck style mirrors that you put on your truck to give it a really kind of a beefy look. Who hasn't seen the guy driving down the road where his mirror's been destroyed? He doesn't even have a rear view mirror on the left side of his car. And that always concerns me when I see somebody driving down the road doing that, because you just think, wow, how does that guy know I'm coming up on him? And as you know, the mirrors always have a angle to them that you don't see everything. And so you have like these hidden spots. You have the, and it's a big problem in car accidents, is you get in somebody's blind spot, is because the mirror, that's why I usually put convex mirrors on most of my vehicles, even some on my motorcycles, because you have that blind spot next to you. You don't realize a car is next to you. But now, as we know, you have the blind spot monitoring built into the cars, which is now newer technology and advanced technology. But even that, it takes a little while for a car to really get next to you, for it really to activate itself. So that's a whole nother variable. But then even on the trucks today, if you set up your trailer correctly in the Ford product, you can get blind spot monitoring with your trailer. If you put in all the correct dimensions and size of the trailer, you don't lose that blind spot monitoring. If you don't do that, then you lose it and it just deactivates itself. Otherwise, the blind spot monitoring is always on in your mirror. because you have a trailer behind you and it thinks it's got something coming up the side of the road. And for any motorcycle enthusiasts out there, you know that when you're riding a motorcycle, your biggest concern is you're in the blind spot of a person, and I've had it happen. Somebody doesn't know you're there and they start coming over and you're like, whoa. So I'm sure most motorcycle enthusiasts know when you come down the road in a car, you just keep getting down the road to go by the car. Do not, it's just basic motorcycle understanding. Do not hang in the left or right side of like the blind spot area of that person, because they will literally cut you off and you will crash. So I immediately just get down the road and get past them, or I pull way back so they can see me in that blind spot. And that's a big challenge on the road, especially very busy roads where people are making such fast maneuvers. And the first thing a person say they're going to crash is they didn't see that car. And who hasn't witnessed that in front of your eyes of somebody crashing that runs right into the side of a car because they didn't know how to use their mirrors? Or who do you see the person that rubbernecks driving down the road? They don't know how to use their mirrors. So they're taking their attention off the road and they're turning their head around to see if there's somebody behind them as they change lanes, which they don't understand how to use their mirrors. And that's, but with all the technology that's coming, with all these cars and full self-driving, oh my goodness gracious. But then you think about the mirror of all the manufacturing and cars and trucks and motorcycles. And what do you see more than ever in today's society is a mirror of the exact same thing. That's what we live in an age of more than ever, is you see the exact same car. If you look at a Tesla, you may just see a gazillion Model 3 Teslas. They all look exactly the same. It isn't calling out Tesla. It's no different than any other major automotive manufacturer, but the cars are mirrored for production reasons. It's a more efficient, flawless way of building cars because they're all mirrored to be built in mass quantities, and all the production and manufacturing makes it at ease and more reliability of things being put together that follows the things that really work. And that's the challenge. And who hasn't broken a mirror? Is that bad luck? Yeah, who doesn't know, right? If you break a mirror, what's the curse? Yeah, but I'm sure many here can relate with breaking a mirror. What's incredible, this mirror here, I put in my gym. I'm trying to think what house I lived in when I put this mirror up. Because you work out, that's a big thing when you work out, is seeing yourself in the mirror to see you're doing your form correctly. So I bought these mirrors years ago. I got 2 mirrors, and I've always have had this vision of having a mirror on a strip of the cruise night. And I'm sure they're out there. There may be one out in California or somewhere, but you always think to yourself, when you're cruising the strip, wouldn't it be so cool to have a mirror where you're driving down the road and you can see yourself as you cruise the strip showing off your really cool car? And I'm sure it's out there. Someone will probably tell me that on my YouTube channel. But I mean, more than ever now, the mirror is the phone. So many videos you use, you're driving down the road and you get to see what you look like driving down the road. But I've always had this vision of having just like a 100-yard worth of mirror of somewhere where you can go drive down the strip and you can be looking at yourself as you're going down the strip to see how you look in your badass car or motorcycle, whatever it may be. And that's the whole premise is you go cruise the strip because you want to show off your pride and joy of what you feel is so special to you. But here's the thing. What's the mirror of our society today? What is a reflection of what's going on? I mean, think about that. Where we are today more than ever in today's society, what's the mirror? I mean, what is a reflection of this country more than ever? What is going on in the world? But here's the thing. I'm really busy, and I'm not going to get into all that stuff. I'm going to kind of leave it at that. And I just thought the mirror conversations would be entertaining this morning. And because, as you can see, anything has a shiny surface, in so many ways, you can consider that the mirror to reflect to you on who you are. And who are you when you go to the mirror and you look at yourself and you just think, wow. And then the mirror shows how you progressed, how you look, your body stature, wow. The mirror, it doesn't lie. That's what they say. The mirror doesn't lie. Do we want to hear that, right? Do our sitting politicians want to look in the mirror and look at what they've done and say, the mirror doesn't lie? You're the problem. Yes, you are. So that's it. I'm going to say goodbye to the mirror. We're going to go to the mirror together, And I'm going to say to everybody, I hope everybody has a great day, has a blessed day, and stay tuned for more adventures. And what am I doing? I don't know. I may go up to the Harley dealer and buy the factory Harley dealer straight bar for the CVO ST back here. And I can get it online aftermarket, but it's August before to come in. And when I was down in Florida and I looked at buying the straight bar rear saddlebag protector, it was back ordered. So, but a dealer nearby may have one. If they do, I'm going to run out there and get that, because I really do want to get my saddlebags protected on my bike. It'd be a nice little project. It'd be a nice little how-to project to show how there's a new look to these motorcycles, if you like it or not. My daughter's $70 rear saddlebag bars came in yesterday, so I need to do that. So I got some how-to projects on my list, with many other projects with the business and everything else. So as I say, I'll get over here to the mirror and we'll say goodbye to the mirror. And once again, I hope everybody has a great day, blessed day. And if you need a sticker, just email me, iceagetvcomments@gmail.com, iceagetvcomments@gmail.com. I'll send you a nice sticker. And I need to get paraphernalia. I really do need to get focused on getting some hats, something creative. I'm trying to figure out how I can start making more money in this channel by selling something on my channel that people would be like, that's really cool. I really like that. I really like this or that. And what paraphernalia, I'm trying to get creative. What type of paraphernalia thing could I create with the Ice Age TV and then start, selling stuff through my channel that just starts to make up for what I was hoping would be more subscription and advertising monies, but maybe I need to resort to selling something that'll grow my income on the Ice Age TV YouTube channel, which that would be exciting. I'm thinking about it, trying to figure it out. I think a hat's a no-brainer, but it's the design of a hat that I'd want to feel like somebody be like, that's cool, I want one of those. Save the Ice Age. So that's it, everybody. God bless. Have a great day.